Tutorial 2. Searching for key code information. How do I search for information about my code? A good program is a must for every clever locksmith. InstaCode is by far the largest code, key blank, and locksmith's companion available anywhere in the world today. To search for code information, there are several ways. The first, but perhaps not the quickest, is to simply type my code, for example A102, into the code field and click Do Search. This screen is the search results screen, which shows me summary information about all code series that matched my search. Searching this way has returned every code series and manufacturer that uses the code A102. In this case, there are over 90 results. Not every result refers to a different code series. This is because the same code series may be used by multiple manufacturers. However, there are still over 30 differing code series. Just before we continue, I want to tell you a little more about what we are looking at. For each series, there is some summary information. In the columns, you can see the series description, manufacturer, and even the number of cuts. We'll talk more about the other columns later, like this one called ISN. One more thing before we continue. Over to the right, we see the key blanks that are used with each of the series, and even pictures of the key and the keyway. These change as I select the different series. The lock I'm working on is a master padlock, so I'm going to sort the results by manufacturer. I do this by clicking on the heading to the manufacturer column. This sorts the results by manufacturers in alphabetical order and allows me to quickly find master in the list. I highlight the series with master as the manufacturer and click on the Details button. This is the Details screen. Let's look at each of the areas on the screen and talk a little about what they are showing us. The biggest area here shows me a picture of a key with the most important information. The bidding for my key is shown just above the key picture, and to make it jump out at you, it's shown in bold. Space and depth measurements surround the picture, showing us both the values and the positions on the key where each cut is made. Now I'm not going to tell you everything about the screen right now, as we'll talk about all the advanced features in later tutorials. But for now, I want to show you some of the most important things to get you up and running. This big red arrow here shows us where the space measurements are measured from. In this series, the measurements are measured from the shoulder of the key, and there are cuts only on one side. You can change whether the measurements are shown in inches or millimeters anytime by selecting the option from the setup menu, as we did in the earlier tutorial. On the right hand side are the key blanks used in this series. As I have already set up my InstaCode, these are displayed in the order that I want them in. The area down here shows me the information about the last key machine I used to cut this type of key. As I haven't cut this type of key before, InstaCode does not know which machine information to display yet. As soon as I've clicked on Cut Key and selected the type of key cutting machine that I'll be using, the relevant information appears. I do this by highlighting the desired machine and clicking on Next. InstaCode will continue to display the details for this machine in this area until a different machine has been selected. I've selected my HPC 1200 machine so that I can print a card to put in my work van. Had I selected the ITL 950, I would have been given the option to download my code directly to the ITL and see the specific information about which cutter I'd need to use. When I finish cutting the key, I'll click on Close. Now, let's go back to the start and try a more refined way to search for a code. To refine my search for the same code, I can add the manufacturer's name along with the code. For example, A102 and Master. First I enter the code as I did before, A102. Next, I click in the manufacturer's search field. When I start typing, you will notice that InstaCode's smart predictive typing will attempt to find my manufacturer quickly. I keep typing until the manufacturer I'm looking for appears. Once I have the manufacturer I'm searching for, I click Do Search. I can now see with this example that only one series is shown. As before with the series highlighted, I click on Details. This will take me to the series details screen once again. Let's go back to the first screen once again to look at one more thing. To refine the search even further if needed, for example, I don't know the manufacturer, but I know the key blank, look at what other fields I can fill in if I have the information. There is key blank, card number, lock type, and even key type. We'll cover these search fields in more depth later in other tutorial videos. So remember, although you can search by code only, searching by two or more pieces of information is more efficient. If you like what you've seen, and you think you're ready to start using InstaCode, go right ahead. Otherwise, you can choose to watch more tutorial videos about InstaCode by clicking on the option you'd like to see more about.